Okay, I'm making this video because over this summer solstice I have been downloaded with more revelations, been made aware of deeper understanding of what's going on. It's June 22nd. I'm in my van. It's a hot day, so I mean it's not too bad. It's like in the 80s, which is a little warm for me, but I'm in the shade, and the wind's blowing, so it's blowing my hair around. I don't have a terrible amount of privacy. Terribly great amount of privacy. There's people walking and driving by, and some guys rollerblading or something out in front of me in the parking lot, whatever. I don't think people can really hear me if I'm in my van and talking relatively quietly. And if they overhear me, they'll just think I'm totally fucking insane anyway, so whatever. What I realized is that the person that I was in this lifetime gave up everything to bring the truth to the world. She gave up her home and her wife and her child and her dog and her possessions, her art, her reputation, her money, her ability to earn money, because in stepping out as the Messiah, she agreed to never charge for anything she ever did again. I'm listening to the X while I make this video. So anyway, she gave up her ability to ever be anything other than the Messiah, because, you know, you don't come out and tell people you're the Messiah and then take it back. So and then she gave up all of her friends, of course, all of her social connections, because again, you can't be the Messiah part-time and just go hang out in chat rooms as something else part of the time and then, you know, work on being the Messiah the rest of the time. I had to give up everything that was my old life, everything that was a human life. And I didn't think that my family would betray me. I figured that they would think I was crazy, but I didn't think that they would betray me for calling myself Jesus. But they did, and so I lost all of them as well. I mean, it's the demons. The demons came after me through absolutely every possible source in order to remove everything from my life that could possibly make me feel good. And so she gave up everything, and the last thing she gave up was her mind, herself, her identity, her. She got out of the way. And that's what my job is as the avatar. My job is to understand and empathize with the people of the age so that I know their needs, so that I empathize with their needs and I completely understand what it's like to be human in this age. But to get everything that was me out of the way so that all I am is a vehicle for the thoughts and feelings of God to be expressed, and for God to be able to move the body and do whatever He wants to do through this body. And so the Satina that this world knew, the only thing that she could do in the end was scream, because she was just a pain receptacle. That was the only thing she was capable of doing any longer, was holding our pain, the pain of her lifetime and of her crucifixion. And so she did that until we addressed all those wounds. And she was like an undead spirit that haunts a house until someone takes notice of the spirit's pain and addresses it and sets them free so that they can cross over. And once all of the different pain sources of her life and of her crucifixion were addressed, she was allowed to die and she was allowed to leave. and her agony was finally ended. Into your hands I commit my spirit. She was allowed to die. So she doesn't exist anymore. The body exists because our physical bodies are so much more than they look like. And of course mine is not human. It looks human, but it's not human. And so this is the vehicle. And I am the vehicle. I had said on Twitter that I didn't think that I was allowed to just become a new person based on loving Russell Brand. And that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to become a new person based on the lifetimes that I lived with Russell Brand as the King and as Jesus. And I'm simply going to be the vehicle that God expresses through, and I have no personality of my own left, because that would get in the way of you knowing who God is. And so, as overwhelming as it is for me to say, and to try to ground in this mind and body, all you have left is God, the truth of God, expressing through a female body. I am God waking up in this body, in this life. And I was not here for Satina's life. Satina lived that life and carried those memories to the grave with her, and all of those emotional attachments. Satina is my name. Satina means the truth, and it is the name of God, and it is the name that I will use. And the person that Satina was, the person that I was in this lifetime, we can call her Tina because her family called her Tina, and they're the ones that killed her. So they killed the person they knew. They killed Tina. And so I am Satina, and what you're getting is God, unfiltered. I get out of the way. I have no thoughts and feelings of my own. These are God's thoughts and feelings directed through a person who lived a lifetime in this age, so that I can identify with your problems, your concerns, your feelings. So I have human feelings in reaction to situations, and then God navigates those situations using God's wisdom to get through it, and God's strength to get through it. But my residual human feelings, so that you can see that as a human, when this happens, this is how you can overcome it. And so, I drank all my water. I'm always thirsty out here. As you are reading the book of love, the tweets, all of it, any of it, watching the videos, what you're watching is, yes, you're watching me suffer and show you how God navigates the suffering. And so, that's what I am. I am just the vehicle. And I have no human attachments except for my attachment to Russell Brand. And I'll admit it, it makes me feel totally crazy. This guy I've never met, a celebrity. But it also makes sense, because what happens with me is that I'm so enormous and so transformative that when people meet me, they go mad. When they encounter the real me, when I reveal myself, let's put it that way, because when they just meet me, they just think I'm a totally cool chick and everybody loves me. But when I reveal myself and I try to tell them who I really am, they go crazy. They slip into a psychotic fugue state, become paralyzed with terror, and let the demons take over. And then the demons do everything they can to destroy me and the person that I have encountered, to keep them away from me. And so I've become terrified of that psychotic fugue state, because it turns everyone into monsters. And so I'm afraid to reveal myself to people. And I'm completely overwhelmed by the idea of revealing myself to people. But my aspects are celebrities, such as Russell and the other rock stars, and they're used to being bigger than everyone else. They're used to being bigger than life, and overwhelming and transformative themselves. And so they will be better able to handle meeting someone who is bigger than everybody and more transformative than anything they've ever known. They share my mind, so my mind is not going to shock and scare them as much as it will typical humans. Just like Russell, I'll talk to you first person. You are just as crazy as I am, and so you can handle this. And when I'm feeling stressed out about that particular subject, because it comes up a lot right now, because really all I'm doing during this time is dealing with fear. Every minute that I'm awake, I am processing the fear. Fear of failure, but mostly fear of success. Fear of what's about to happen, what I'm stepping into, So that's what I'm dealing with is purging all of this fear, just processing it all day long. And so when it comes up, this fear of revealing myself to small humans who will just instantly go mad and try to kill me, God will play a corn song and remind me, that my aspects are ready for me, big enough for me. They're crazy enough for me, and they share my mind, and so the way that my mind works will be familiar to them, and it won't be, just this completely shocking experience. Many of them have got to know that Jesus isn't going to show up anything like the church has been telling us he is, and so they're ready to embrace something. They're not ready to embrace some Jesus in the clouds that's going to throw bad people into the furnace. They're not stupid. They know that's not what's going to happen, but they don't know what is going to happen. But because they are aspects of God themselves, they know something is going to happen. They can feel the truth, and they're being communicated with, and being, obviously the truth is being channeled through them and into the music. And so I'm not alone. And Russell, you will help me to be able to reveal myself to only those people who are ready for me. And you, Russell, are my sunshine. And I'm going to speak as God now. You are the brightest spot down on this world. And so when I look down on the world and look for a bright spot, you're it. And what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to light you up, and then I'm going to use you to light up the world. And I'm going to use you to enlighten them to the point where they are ready for me, so that I can come out to them and reveal myself to them without being immediately attacked as they go into a psychotic fugue state of terror over encountering heaven, over encountering God, over encountering the end of everything they've ever known. You can't know me and go back to life as usual. You just can't. It's over, when you meet God, your life is never the same. It's good to watch the Jesus movies and watch how the disciples' lives were transformed after they met me as Jesus. Because obviously after you meet the Messiah, you don't see the world the same. And even then, it wasn't anything like it is now. We all know this world is over. We all know this is hell. This is a clusterfuck. This has to end. So we've all been, and I am including myself, because I didn't know I was the Messiah. I knew I was a Messiah, but I didn't know I was the Messiah. I didn't know I was Jesus. I didn't know I was God. I didn't know I was the Avatar. I knew that I was an extremely powerful spiritual teacher who was going to lead the masses. And if I had come out as just that to my family, they would have believed me, and they would have been able to support that. Anything but coming out as the actual Jesus Christ. I mean, this is a no-win situation. There's no way that they could ever accept that until, something really miraculous happens. And so I was never meant to be just accepted. A prophet is not without honor except in his own household, in his own hometown, with his own family, with his own people. And so there was just no way anybody was ever going to be, again, the people that knew me would absolutely have no problem believing I was a Messiah. Every single person in my family would be okay with that if I just said I was a Messiah and was just Satina, a Messiah. And I'm sure that includes Shannon. My hair is so flat. Obviously this has been a very difficult, impactful thing to realize, and to just, I have to process the fact that I'm not here to have a human lifetime ever again. I'm here to be God having a relationship with my creation. And that's all I'm ever going to be able to have again. And so that's what I'm dealing with, is grounding that realization, and just processing the fear. We're not given a spirit of fear. And so this fear isn't mine. Obviously God has no fears. God is fearless. But I experience human fears, so I can show you how I negotiate those. And I also am purging fear for the collective, as I've explained, because if I can purge this fear of stepping into my own kingdom, then you will have less fear stepping into my kingdom. And so the very thing that I'm afraid of, which is the psychotic fear state that humans slip into when they encounter me, is what I am helping to ameliorate by purging some of the fear myself. If I feel it and express it and move it out of my body, then you don't have to feel it in your body, and then you won't have to do the toxic things that humans do to deal with their fear. And I can just let God lead me through dealing with however He wants me to deal with the fear. So that's what I'm doing, dealing with the fear. And dealing with the realization that as a person, that's my only job, is to get out of the way and let God express through a body with mannerisms and understandings gained through a lifetime of living in this age that will allow me to be the perfect Messiah. Everything that I experienced prepared me for my job. That's what the avatar of an age is a vehicle that can identify with the surrounding humans, the age that they are there to work in, let's just say. They have to be able to empathize with that age's people. So as Jesus, I had to empathize with people who lived the way that the people were living in that age. If I tried to, transport myself back in time and be their Messiah. It wouldn't work, because this person that lived this lifetime doesn't know how to live in that lifetime. I know how to live in this lifetime. So as the avatar, my job is to know how to live in this lifetime and to just get completely out of the way so that God can express through this body. And so I don't live for myself. I don't do things for myself. And our relationship, Russell, serves the world. In a way, we're going to be performing on the world stage, demonstrating love. It's just like our relationship as David and Jonathan redefined friendship and also gave the world its first gay marriage. That's just fucking awesome. And so that's what we do. We come down and we demonstrate love, because people don't know what love is down here, and so we show them. We redefine love. And so we're going to do that again. And we did it as David and Jonathan, and then we did it as Arthur and Lancelot as well, because we showed them bromance. We showed them platonic romance. And the crest that I've seen in various artwork with King Arthur and Lancelot and Guinevere does suggest that Lancelot was considered like a second queen for Arthur. And so we've redefined that. So our relationship exists as a teaching tool. And all the time that I was with Shannon, and all the time that I was in the threesome with Shannon and Dave, our relationship was a teaching tool, and we always were just completely open about it. And now song 3 is playing. And that's our song. And I wish you could hear it, but you can't. There's no way I can set that up for you to hear it. But all I want is to be with you, Russell. I'm not a fan. I'm not starstruck. I don't care about your money, and I don't care about your celebrity, and I don't even care that you're the perfect sex toy. I love you. And I just want to be with you, but we can't do that, because if we were just together, then we would not want to turn our attention to much of anything else, and that's not what our relationship is for. And so we're going to have to spend a lot of time apart, and you will love me over your channel, and I will love you over Twitter. And our longing will serve to express God's longing for his people and his people's longing for him, because that's our job, Russ. I am God loving humanity when I love you, and you are humanity loving God when you love me. And so my longing for you is God's longing for his humanity and for his creation, to know him and to love him again. And your longing for me is his humanity's longing to know their God and to love their God again. So we can't just be together, but we can be together. We will be together, and we will end up living together. It's just not right away. But we're not. I don't know. I guess that's all I could say for sure. This world is so unreal. And I spend a lot of time feeling absolutely crazy, but then I look around and the people around me are the ones that are crazy, because they believe this illusion and they're stuck in it, and they think it's all they can have, and they don't know God. Most people don't know their own God. And I have to fix that. And so when I sit here and I feel crazy and I feel, oh yeah, I guess just, terrified and crazy, I remind myself I know things they don't. And I'm right. I'm right about everything. I'm right about the Bible. I'm right about Jehovah's. I'm right about Jehovah. I'm right about Moses. I'm right about the enemy's plan for humanity. And I'm right about God's plan for humanity. And I'm right. And, excuse me, I'm the only free mind on the planet. I'm the only one without free will. So I cannot be corrupted by anyone else's thoughts. And so I am the only one that is free enough to bring the truth to the world, because everyone else can be stopped. And obviously what they intended to do was to stop me by breaking my mind, but what they did was kill the old me and got me completely out of the way, or her completely out of the way, so that all that's left is the truth. All that's left is God. All that's left is the message coming through. And so I look around and feel crazy, but I know that I'm the only one that knows the truth. I'm the only one that knows the truth of who your God is, and what the plan is, and what the problems are. You don't even know what the problems are. You people are just so fucking completely blind and lost and drunk and confused and crazy and broken and you have no hope except me. And so that's why I have been destroyed and imprisoned in a pain cave in Idaho, where no one even knows I'm still alive. And in a way, I'm not. All the people that knew me before, I'm not alive. That person's dead. If you ever loved that person that you were with, Shannon, you should really have a memorial service, because she's dead and you killed her. You and my mother, you killed her. Everybody, lots of people helped. But it was her love for you, Shannon, that killed her. If she hadn't loved you, they wouldn't have had enough on her to destroy her. And therefore God would not have had the perfect tool for the crucifixion. We, whatever, had to be crucified with our own love. It's the only way that's what Christ's blood is. It's pain due to love. Christ's blood is pain due to love. And so I bled the book of love. And my love for my love. Satina's love for Shannon killed her. And she died for you, Shannon, because it was her love for you that motivated her to, go through all this. And, you were the one she was working to save. The goddess and you. And when that was achieved, she was allowed to leave. Now she's gone. She's passed on. And I really would love to see a memorial done for her, because she was a good person and she deserved to be sent off with love. And I'm a new person. And trying to care about my hair. I haven't been around very long, but I know how to live in this culture. I'm completely aware of everything that I need to be aware of from Satina's lifetime in order to do this job. I'm just like you. I've gone through the same things you have, but I have God's perspective on all of it now. I don't have a human perspective on it, although I understand the human perspective on it. I empathize with the human perspective, and I know how to overcome the toxic responses that come from the human perspective, because you have to take the highest view of everything always. You've got to, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. You've got to take a higher viewpoint. You've got to get up higher and look at the big picture. The human perspective is the slave perspective, and it's just going to keep you imprisoned forever. So you have to get above it. You have to look at things from the perspective of a god or a goddess. So, that's where we're at. And that's what I'm using my time for. When I'm not focused on the fear, Russell, I'm always being bonded more intimately with you. Which makes me feel crazy too, because I've never even met you. I don't even know that you're there, and yet God has delivered my heart and body up to you on a platter. I don't have any control over it. I have no control over my feelings for you. I have no control over my thoughts of you. I have no control over my body's response to you, which frankly is startling and ridiculous. I'm not a fangirl. I've never been a fangirl. And honestly, I've never even really... I don't think I've ever been turned on by just looking at someone before. But it's gotten to the point where just hearing the word brand turns me on, and that's ridiculous. But I guess it must serve, so I feel like I'm going completely crazy, and all I can do is embrace it. Just like I said with Gethsemane, all I can do is just completely embrace the delusion and keep walking forward, because I have absolutely no choice, and I have no thoughts of my own, no feelings of my own. The fear is there, but the fear thoughts won't even run through my mind, which is great. I'm not complaining. It's just really weird, because I have panic feelings, and then it's like, oh, we'll explore your thoughts about that. Well, they're not mine, so they don't get explored. They're human thoughts that don't even get the chance to completely be born, and I just deal with the physical symptoms of panic. And I just purge the fear. I just say, I am purging fear. And I just say, thank you for helping me purge the fear. And then I send love to the physical symptoms. To, you've seen it on the videos. So that's what I do. That's what I'm doing. And sometimes it feels like I'm not doing anything at all, and I'm so frustrated because I don't have a life, but then I realize all I've done all day is process incredibly huge revelations, and I've journaled and journaled and journaled and journaled and filled up fucking hundreds of pages. So that's how I'm spending my time, and I just thought it was time to document that. I have another video in mind for you, Russell. It's going to be a much more cheerful video, called Parameters. It's going to explain what's involved with being my love toy. But I'm going to have to get into a better mood before I do that one. So I'm just going to sit here in the shade, let the breeze blow and look over my journal and probably do some more journaling, and then we'll see if you get that video. Alright, that's it. I don't know when I'll see you. I realized that what I'm doing is I'm saying goodbye to Tina, the old me, because nobody else even seems to realize that she's gone. And so I'm mourning her. And thanking her for her sacrifices. Because she's gone. This person. She's gone. And nobody even knows. And nobody misses her. Nobody wants her. Nobody really loved her. And they don't love me. I give them absolute perfection in social situations so that I'm not destroyed. That's what I get.